Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. We are here on a Super Bowl Monday, and we're really excited. There's a really big buzz around the sporting world because the Super Bowl was a blowout again. Tom Brady gets his seventh ring. No matter what has changed in this world, it still results in a final game in the NFL season with the Tom Brady victory. He goes to Tampa Bay, a franchise that have really looked horrible most of their existence. He comes, turns this whole thing around, and gets another Super Bowl on his own. Joining me as always on a Monday, got Jason Cameron, and I know he's not happy, so I wanted to get him right away into it. And yeah, tell me how you feeling. I know you weren't feeling good yesterday.
No, man, no, of course I'm not feeling good. He did it to me again. Again. Like, how many times do I have to just bet against this guy and be like, man, I know it's not his time this time. I got him on this one. Well, I'm a moron. 70% of the time, this guy wins. That's where he's at. He's at 70% of the time he wins. And this time I thought, you know what? Mahomes got a chance, man. Mahomes is by far and away the most gifted quarterback that we've seen in a very, very long time. Yeah. A very long time. Like a very, very long time.
Yeah, maybe ever, yeah. Athletically gifted, yeah, maybe ever.
But here's the thing. He went up against Tom Brady. Tom Brady, who is basically like Darth Vader at this point in time. And since Mahomes is not his actual son, I guess he had no chance of winning. I guess not, huh?
No. Good Star Wars reference. I love it. Yeah. Why was it so easy? This was the easiest one he's had. He's 43 years old, changed teams, whole new offense, whole new everything. And this was the easiest Super Bowl victory he ever had.
I have an answer for that. The answer is Todd Bowles.
Nice.
Todd Bowles is the answer for that. Nice. Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator, had one of the most strategically brilliant defensive schemes to go up against Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. Like, it was brilliant.
Amazing.
He basically attacked their one weakness that nobody else in the league could figure out, but he did, which was the weakness with the tackles that they had.
Yeah.
Their starting tackles were never there. They were stand-ins pretty much. Todd Bowles devised the plan to attack those tackles. Yeah. And guess what? Mahomes was running for his life the entire game. Yeah. It was a tale of two different games. Mahomes running for his life and Brady just sitting back there going, this is nice having a lot of time. I just get to pick you apart. Bing, bing. And then all of a sudden, look at that. Gronkowski pops up out of nowhere. He's like, hey, man, I'm good. Feel great. Yeah. You want me to do some touchdowns? Sure. Perfect.
Incredible. Yeah. The play of Gronk was huge. I actually thought maybe they were going to give the MVP to him. His two touchdowns beat what Kansas City got, 31-9 score. Gronk's two touchdowns, 12 points. That beats the Chiefs right then and there. But they gave it to Brady. Brady had, I would say, a really good game. Not a fantastic game. He only had 201 yards through the air, but he didn't throw any picks. He didn't get themselves in any trouble. He just managed it well. He threw the touchdowns. And Mahomes wasn't able to do that. Mahomes was getting into field goal range, just getting field goals, wasn't punching it through, wasn't capitalizing on third downs. And Brady was. He was able to, engineer those touchdown drives. And just incredible that a 43-year-old guy that's been through 20 years, been through all this, can still come in and beat the best quarterback in the NFL these days, and just by figuring out how to manage this offense, manage this team, and not make any mistakes.
He was incredibly efficient. He just did what needed to be done because, I got to say, because he's a winner, okay? I said it. Because he's a winner. That's all he knows how to do is win. He just wins and he wins and he wins. And then I'm sick and tired of it, but he just keeps winning. Oh. The man's a winner. And then if you look at his rise this point in time throughout the playoffs, he took out Drew Brees, he took out Aaron Rodgers, and then he took out Patrick Mahomes. If he wanted to make sure there was a cherry on top of a stamp of, there's no question about it, I'm the greatest. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it. His reign of darkness continues. Yes, it does. And I don't know if it will ever stop. I think I will be tortured, maybe forever, by the reign of Tom Brady. So this is, I got to give it to him.
Yeah. Greatest of all time. He probably was the greatest of all time even before this game, but to be able to, switch franchises, be the first to take two franchises and lead them like this, setting records, him and Gronkowski, the most prolific dynamic duo, 14 TDs, to be able to just set so many records, just like you say, beat Brees, beat Rodgers, come and beat Mahomes, and switching from Belichick's system where he was super comfortable, was able to really know, what to do on a daily basis, always week to week. He was there to be able to do that at this age and switch to a completely different offense, to be able to, figure it out and go on this winning streak. They won 8 in a row after they lost to the Chiefs in week 12, which the Chiefs were just absolutely amazing in that first quarter. And somehow Todd Bowles, like you say, he saw that, and I think he realized, whoa, we have a chance to meet those guys in the Super Bowl. I need to change something. I need to make some adjustments. And you're right. That adjustment that Bowles made was absolutely amazing, because Patrick Mahomes just really didn't have a chance to do anything that game. He was running for his life. And there was amazing stats that were put out today. A guy was able to do a GPS type of tracking system of Mahomes and Brady and how many yards they ran after they snapped the ball. Patrick Mahomes ran 497 yards in the backfield, running around for his life, trying to get the ball to his receivers. And Tom Brady was 37 yards. Tom Brady's GPS, you saw it on the chart. It was just right back, right out, right back, right out, right back, right out. And Mahomes was just looping and running and throwing, and he made some absolutely spectacular plays, but his receivers didn't catch the ball. And he was inaccurate on a lot of his passes because he was running for his life. Those front four guys deserve a huge amount of credit for this win.
Oh yeah, of course, because they were a terror. They terrorized him. He might be having nightmares about them for a while, like they absolutely terrorized them. But at the same time, I'm not going to put this loss on Mahomes.
No,
that dude did everything in his power to try to will them to a win. He even threw the ball when he's completely horizontal to the ground. And he hit his receiver in the helmet.
Right in the face.
Right in the face. Like where you're like, I don't even know how that's possible. How is that a thing?
Yeah.
So I give Mahomes all the credit. He's an ultimate competitor. The team never said die, but unfortunately they ran into Tom Brady, and Brady's bunch did that.
Yeah.
They did that to him, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah. Tom's a smart man, and he, obviously saw a great offense in Tampa Bay, but do you think he actually saw how great that defense was as well?
I think he probably, let's be honest, guy sees more than ordinary people.
Yeah.
So he probably saw the potential that the defense had. And then more importantly, he probably saw just how great Todd Bowles is as a defensive coordinator, how he's able to adjust on the fly. And he just put a bet on it. Just said, you know what? I think they'll figure it out, because I know I'll figure it out. I got the offense part. Yeah. That's not a thing. The defense is something that I'm hoping it has the potential to be something great. And guess what? It was.
I want to mention a bunch of the defensive players because they should get the credit. They don't get enough recognition, and some shows like this, they just talk about Brady and Gronk and things like that. But let's talk about some of these amazing performances. Jason Pierre-Paul was fantastic. Devon White, another pick. He had 8 tackles, 4 assists. David Levante was amazing. Antoine Winfield had a pick. Sean Bunting was great. I just keep going down the list. Donkey Kong Sue was great. Shaq Barrett. Oh man, Shaq Barrett was really in Mahomes' face. They were just an incredible crew, and to be able to have two safeties always back, making sure Tyreek Hill wasn't getting behind them, always around Kelsey. Kelsey was able to catch a lot of balls, but never get separation, so he could get a lot of yardage after the catch. They really had just an amazing system, because Mahomes had a couple of seconds once in a while to look, but none of his receivers were ever open enough for him to, start generating the offense. And there was record after record set. Oh, this is the lowest amount of yardage Mahomes has ever had in the first quarter, in the first half, in the first three quarters. Never, this is the lowest scoring game in his NFL career, and not get a touchdown. He hasn't had a game where he didn't get a touchdown since high school, maybe even since his lifetime. Like the team didn't even get a touchdown. It was a masterful defensive performance.
It was a masterful defensive performance. So masterful, in fact, that Tom Brady didn't have to do Tom Brady stuff.
Yeah.
All Tom Brady had to do is, just got to be efficient here. Looks like the defense has got it. Great.
Yeah.
Man. Hey, Gronk, touch that. Like, that's all he had to do was just be efficient, throws touchdown picks when he had the chance to do that. And then there you go. There you have it.
I thought the defense was going to be the reason why the Bucs would win. And I thought good chance that the MVP could go to one of those defensive players, but there wasn't a guy that had two picks, maybe a pick six, or a sack to cause a fumble, or 4 or 5 sacks, or something like amazingly outrageous stats where you're just like, holy cow, he deserves it for sure. Did Tom Brady? Was there anybody else in the running in the offense that could have got that MVP?
In the offense?
Yeah.
I think the only person that you could have looked at was Gronk.
Yeah.
That's the only person that you could have looked at was Gronk. But at the same time, it's Brady. So you look at him and you go, well, I guess you win it again. There you go, buddy. There you go. You win it again. I do want to mention one player, and I hope I'm getting the man's name right. I think it was Davis, the cornerback for Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
He was the one that was burnt by Tyreek Hill time and time again in the regular season. Look what he did this time.
Yeah.
Shut
him down. Yeah.
Shut him down, man.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, he had his safeties over top that had his back. And on top of all of that, it was a full defensive lockdown from every defensive member on the Tampa Bay Bucs side of that ball. And they locked them down to the point that it's never been seen before. And other teams are going to emulate that. They're going to be like, I don't know how he did that stuff, but we got to do the same thing to Kansas City.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was going to ask you that. Do you think other teams can watch game tape of this game and do what they've done to Patrick Mahomes, or is it just because they have this personnel?
I think it's because they have the personnel. Like, you'd have to have similar personnel to do the same things, or else guess what? That ain't happening. Yeah. You ain't able to do that because they have so many weapons on that side of the ball that you need to have those players to do that. And on top of that, those players need to play to their best of ability, to their best, which is what they did. They brought their best to that particular game. That was the result.
Tom Brady, we're calling him the GOAT. There was all this conversation of the GOAT and the baby GOAT. And I think he's put himself in a stratosphere that no other NFL player probably ever reach. But now he's being compared to greatest of all time in the other sports. Michael Jordan, obviously, Wayne Gretzky, Tiger Woods, a lot of guys from other, the other sports. But I see similarities in a lot of these guys. I see similarity between him and Gretzky. Gretzky never being the fastest, the hardest shot, anything, but just the smartest guy ever, just knew the game more in a genius type of way than anybody else. Michael Jordan, athletically amazingly gifted, but just understood the game, understood how to win. Also, it seems like Tom Brady really always wanted to prove something and still seems to be that way. Drafted 199th. constantly, I think he talked about that in his brain all the time. 199th, are they ridiculous? Are they stupid? How could I be drafted that low? He wanted to prove that he could win without Bill coming here. Everybody said Belichick was the reason why he's won all those titles and stuff. Michael Jordan, we saw it in The Last Dance. He took a slight of being drafted number 3 overall, being overlooked for this, cut from his high school team. Anybody, give him any slight on the court or even in a restaurant, that would be it. He'd want to step on his throat and win a championship. And I think that's what Brady has with a lot of these other greatest of all time.
He has that fire. He has that spark in him, right? Like, how about this? And also, too, I need to say this. I need to say it just the way I need to say it. He's greedy. He's super greedy. He just wants more.
Yeah.
He always wants more, to the point that even post-interview, he just goes, yeah, I'm coming back. We're going to run it back.
Yeah.
We're going to do the same thing again. He feels my nightmares, my friend. Like, he really does. It's like, oh, wow, he's back again. He's going to be throwing touchdowns again. Great.
If there's no injuries on either the Chiefs or the Bucs, are we seeing a rematch?
Depending upon how contracts work out, if they can get certain pieces back for next year, yeah, you could see them run it back. But I will say this: if it does happen like that, and they do come at each other again like this, it's going to be a different game, because those kids, the Chiefs, are going to be coming out for blood, because let's be honest, they got embarrassed.
Yeah.
They got embarrassed in that Super Bowl. People have pride, man. And especially professional athletes of that caliber, they would be a kind of totally different game, and adjustments would be made immediately within the game. And then hopefully, too, Kansas City actually has their tackles and they're healthy.
Yeah.
They're real tackles, you know what I mean? So
right.
It's a different game.
There's a lot of things I want to break down, but you mentioned if everybody's coming back. Did you see the list of Tampa Bay's free agents?
No, I did not.
Okay. It is a crazy list. Supposedly they have about $40 million to work with these guys, but all 4 touchdowns that were scored on Sunday are to guys that are free agents coming up. Gronk got the 2 touchdowns. Leonard Fournette got his touchdown, and Antonio Brown. So all 3 of those guys. Chris Godwin, Shaq Barrett, Levante David, and Adonkin Sue are all free agents for this team. And that's one of the toughest parts about repeating as Super Bowl champions. We haven't seen one since 2003, 2004, Tom Brady with the Patriots. And the Chiefs weren't dominant in any of their wins this year because they lost a bunch of guys and they had some injuries, obviously, on that offensive line. But they had a lot of wins where they had to come back and win. The year before, they were just completely dominating teams and blowing them out. They didn't blow out anybody this year. And so I don't know how they're going to be able to fit all those guys in. But I sure hope they can, because it was fun to watch this team.
It was a lot of fun to watch. Like, how about this? Like, if you're the Bucs players, you would actually have to give them some grace, the team, where you go, okay, you know what? I know I can go to other teams and make more money, but the chance of us winning another Super Bowl is quite high.
Yeah.
If I take a pay cut, it would have to be voluntary. It would have to be voluntary across the board for all those guys. I think the one guy that is definitely probably out, I'm sorry to say it, Antonio Brown, is probably gone.
All right.
So, but everybody else, I would say, they would try their best to try to talk to try to keep. And then those players would have to value the worth of staying on the team or not staying on the team. Yeah. It's like, then you actually have to play with the fact of, I know I only have a set amount of years for my career to make money, but I also only have a set amount of years to get championships.
Win championships, yeah.
This is the guy.
Right.
This is the guy. This is the guy that can, he brought us to the promised land first year here.
Yeah.
And won. So maybe I still want to be here for the next year.
Bruce Arians last week said the biggest, most crucial aspect that Tom Brady brought to the team was belief that we can win. But I also think one of the most incredible factors for a guy like him is that he becomes a magnet for talent out there, because he brought Gronk back out of retirement. He brings Antonio Brown there. He brings Leonard Fournette there. Those guys were all very crucial and very key in this Super Bowl win. There's going to be a ton of guys that want to play for the Bucs that are out there in the rest of the league, because they know that he's the greatest of all time, and he really has, can give them a legitimate shot to win another title. So if they do lose some of these guys, which they probably will lose a couple of them at least, he's a magnet for bringing talent from the rest of the league.
Oh yeah, man. He most certainly is a magnet because of. There's another very important factor. He has more Super Bowls than franchises now. That's who that guy is. He has more Super Bowls than franchises. All right. So for me, if I'm on like the Browns and I'm a free agent, I go, "Hey Tom, buddy, how much of a pay cut do I need to take? I'll play with you. 500. Give me $500,000. $500,000 for a season. I'm in. Like I think you're going to see a lot of guys be willing to take a pay cut for a year and play for that team and get it done. Because I know for myself, like opportunities like that just don't come around that often.
Yeah.
But if you got a guy like that, 18 years in, and for more than half of his career, he's been in the Super Bowl, well, I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. We see it in basketball. LeBron James goes to teams and is able to, bring in amazing talent, obviously with the Lakers getting AD and winning this championship. I think Tom Brady if he can stay healthy, unfortunately, he's going to have a really good chance of winning another Super Bowl and maybe another and maybe another. We might be seeing him for a few years until he's maybe 50, and maybe they'll be able to put a bionic arm on him at some point. And I think the evil empire has shifted down to Tampa, and Tom Brady we're going to see for a few more years possibly winning some more championships. I wouldn't put it past him and this team. That this team looks fantastic on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, man, they are. They're constructed to win immediately again. Like especially if they can get, maybe over 60% of those players that are due to go elsewhere, if they can bring them back somehow, or maybe even bring them all back. I don't know, but like I said, it's the players' willingness to take a pay cut, because someone would have to do that for them to bring everybody back. But now that they've won out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Like the last time they were in this position, Tampa Bay, was 2003.
Yeah.
17 years ago.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like this dude just came in, rode into town, said, hey, you guys want a Super Bowl? I'll get you a Super Bowl. I'll do it. And then that's what he did. He did it.
Obviously, hindsight is 2020, and we look at this and think, how could we have not realized that Tampa Bay was so amazing? But can you believe how many people picked the Chiefs? All the pundits, all the guys on TV that get paid for it. 80% of the money in Vegas went on the Chiefs. 80% of the people betted overs for the score, and they discounted this incredible defense and the weapons that they have on offense. I'm shocked. Was that just a Mahomes factor that put that much money on the Chiefs and that much people thinking that the Chiefs were going to take this?
Well, yeah, it was the Mahomes factor because he's like a Brady. Like he just keeps doing it over and over again. And so you thought to yourself, well, yeah, I guess he can do it again, but then you forgot about something. Well, that's still Tom Brady. That's still Tom Brady. Like he's been doing this for forever now. Forever.
Yeah. And
and it's just old hat to him, and then it's old hat to him too about being counted out all the time. Where it's like, man, no way you can win this time. And he's like, oh yeah, you remember what I did to the Falcons? Remember that? I do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, down 28-3, and he didn't even look like he was breaking sweat. He's like, "Oh, we're going to take this," and he does. So, another story in this legendary life and incredible career. 269 games in this season. You and I speculated so much through this whole season that they might not be able to pull this off because of COVID. And there was games where there was no QBs, and there was games where there was no running backs, and there was, cancellations and postponements. And we saw a NFL football game on every day of the week, 7 calendar days. Never seen that before. But it ends the same way that 6 other seasons have ended in the last 20 years. Tom Brady raising the Super Bowl again. I also really want to give a lot of credit to that Tampa Bay organization. Bruce Arians, the oldest coach. They put a lot of faith in a guy that's been around for a long time, but it seems to be a lot of teams want to go younger and younger. They also have 2 black coordinators. We haven't talked about Byron Leftwich, but we should. They also have women on the staff, women coaches, the most diverse coaching staff in the NFL. And I'm really, really, really impressed and proud and happy when a team that is that diverse can have this success.
Well, yeah, and he's proven that you can win with diversity. Yeah. You can win with women as coaches. Like you can win as long as you have like a winning culture within your organization, which they clearly do. Yeah, you can win. Yeah. Oh yeah, and by the way, it really helps to have a GOAT. That guy really helps to have a dude like that.
Yeah. I thought Byron Leftwich's game plan was great. They ran the ball with Fournette, 3 straight downs. They were getting about 6 yards per carry there. And then the touchdown to Gronk when he came across the middle behind the line of scrimmage, I saw the safety and the linebackers think that the ball was going to Fournette because they had already started that drive off so well. And Gronk came across the middle and was able to catch a pass and go easily into the end zone on his own. And I really like the game plan that Leftwich put in place, and he really seemed to have the Chiefs defense on their heels.
Yeah, man, because he started off running the ball, did some screens and stuff. He actually Leftwich basically pared it down. He made it very simple. Yep. Like it was a very simple and effective offensive plan to attack the Chiefs. And they clearly have the weapons to do all those things. They have these supremely gifted athletes on their side of the ball. And at the same time, you can't actually guard them all. There's too many. Yeah. There's too many of them dudes. You got Mike Evans, you got Chris Godwin, you got Antonio Brown, you got Gronkowski, you got that great dude that actually he was great too. Like you have all freaking weapons. Yeah. Dude. Oh, one of the linemen almost caught a touchdown. Yeah. The only reason why he didn't catch a touchdown because it got knocked out of his hand. It was actually a great defensive play.
Yeah.
Or he would have had one too as well. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. There was some cool stats that came out today. Before that bye, Kansas City beat the Bucs 27-24 in week 12. Then they had a bye. They were the latest team to have a bye in the NFL. And then it said they were using play action 8% of the time on dropbacks from Tom Brady before that. And this Super Bowl, they used it 43% of the time. So a complete role reversal. Really, like I said, had the Chiefs defense on their heels, not knowing if they were going to be running or passing the ball and doing screen plays, doing a little dink and dunk, but it works, and it doesn't get your team in any trouble. No turnovers, no glaring errors there, and they were able to march down and get touchdowns while the Chiefs were just getting field goals.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the weird thing in that statement: Chiefs were just getting field goals. Yeah. What? We're not even used to seeing that. Like, how did that happen? And that came about because of the strategy that Todd Bowles had on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah. And they just did not give them anything. They didn't give them anything, which is amazing to say that about the most potent offense in the NFL that this defense didn't literally give them anything.
I watched the game a couple more times today. It was they replayed it all day long, and I couldn't believe some of the incredible plays that Mahomes had, where he was scrambling. He would, like you say, he threw the ball completely horizontal once. He threw, off his back foot, scrambling all the time. But it would go right through the guy's hands, right into his helmet. It would be in his hands, and he would drop it, like Kelsey dropped a couple really crucial third downs. Really uncharacteristic moves by the Chiefs receivers, but I think they were just surprised that he even got the ball off. And then there was guys around them, which, didn't happen a lot through this regular season the last couple of years.
Yeah, because they're used to actually having some sort of separation to be a little bit more open. Or the fact that Mahomes was basically trying to be Superman back there and getting the ball out when you wouldn't have thought there's no freaking way he's going to be able to get the ball out.
Yeah.
And he did, time and time again. The man, he did his best Man of Steel impression. He really did. He really, really tried. But unfortunately, his receivers weren't making those miraculous catches that he needed them to make at that point in time for the game to be closer. Because if they started making those catches, you got a different game. You got a very, very different game.
There's been a lot of talk on the Canadian doctor Laurent Duvernay-Tardif and him making a decision after the Super Bowl victory last year, walking away and deciding to do COVID help in a hospital in Quebec. And I think he was very, very missed on that offensive line. I think, he did a really selfless act and was supporting his community through this pandemic. But I think, that Canadian was sorely missed on that offensive line.
Yeah, he definitely was. But you can't fault him for why he left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's if that's his humanitarian will, playing up to do the thing that he feels is necessary, and then you know what? You just got to make up for him and move on. And that's it. That's the end of the story. I
was a little bit angry that he was being discounted. They were saying, well, obviously he wasn't missed that much. They made the Super Bowl again, and he left. He wasn't there this whole season, but they I guess didn't miss him much. But I think he was missed all year. They didn't play the same way they did the season before. They weren't blowing out teams. Mahomes was having to make some incredible plays all the time. And this game, he just couldn't be Superman enough. There was just, it was just impossible. 497 yards rushing, trying to get away from the line and the linebackers and trying to stop from being tackled. Joe Mixon led the Cincinnati Bengals this year in rushing all 16 games, 428 yards. So Mahomes had more yards running around in that backfield trying to avoid getting tackled than the Bengals' top running back had all year.
Well, there you go. There you have it right there. And also too, the Chiefs need to take a lesson from this, which is this. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is amazing, but at the end of the day, he still needs protection, my friends. He still needs protection. He still needs that front line to be great as well, as great as he is. He needs that. Because if you don't give him that, oh man, the future is not going to look good for the Chiefs. Because what if you have a situation with like Andrew Luck, where you let him get beat up too much and then he retires early? Yeah. That can also happen too. Yeah. That's something that I'm sure the Chiefs don't want to see. Nobody wants to see that. No. So they're going to have to do something with that offensive line and get him the help, the protection he needs. Because if he has that, that's a different Super Bowl. Yeah. Completely different Super Bowl.
Yeah. Were Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy out-coached?
Oh, yeah. You know what? Maybe yes. I'm going to say yes because, they had a chance during the second half to make their adjustments, which I'm sure they did. But I guess you could say maybe they just weren't the right adjustments. Yeah. They weren't the right adjustments at all. Maybe they should have done more double tight end sets and just had more people try to hem in and protect Mahomes. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, because clearly every time that front seven of Tampa Bay's, they poured in like it was water at him all the time, where he's just like, oh, would you look at that? They're on me in a second, and he's running for his life again.
Yeah.
So whatever adjustments they made just were clearly not enough, or probably more to the point, they just didn't have the personnel to combat what Tampa Bay was throwing at them.
Was it home field advantage big time for Tampa Bay? Usually Super Bowls aren't, well, obviously this is the first time a home team has been, but you're going to get a lot of fans from all over the country and stuff. But was the home field advantage a big factor?
I think there's something to that. I think there's something to be said to that, because it's on their field, it's on their turf. You know, they're familiar with the field, and like everything, like the whole lead up to the Super Bowl now is just, it's the same field that they've had during the regular season, because it's their home field. You know what I mean? And then also too, it was cool that they had the fans in there along with their cardboard cutout fans. You know, they super weird, but whatever. But they, you know, they had those things as well. You know, so I think it's the comforts of home that actually kind of made the Super Bowl for Tampa Bay a little bit more comfortable for them. You know.
Okay, there was a really tough story that came out a few days ago. Andy Reid's son, one of the coordinators on his team, Britt Reid, was involved in a car crash. He said he had been drinking before. There's a 5-year-old girl in hospital fighting for her life, really super serious. Was that a massive distraction for the Chiefs?
Kind of hard for it not to be, you know, like kind of hard for it not to be. I know that they're all professionals there at the end of the day, but that's you could say that's one of their family members that this happened to, and that's very hard to compartmentalize and put that off to the side and just play the game. Yeah. It's super tough, and especially when it's somebody as close to the head coach as it is. So, yeah.
Yeah, huge mistake, and yeah, really, yeah, brutal. And our thoughts and prayers are with that little girl and all the people that were involved in the car wreck. I think there was 5 cars involved, and yeah, really super serious. What about the penalties? Were they a massive factor? Chiefs that were 11 penalties for 110 yards. Tampa Bay didn't have very many penalties at all. I felt like there was a lot of ticky-tack calls, but was it something that turned out to be a major factor?
Yeah, you know what? Like there was. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think a lot of those penalties were due to like ticky-tack, and then compounded by frustration calls, with the honey badger kind of coming at Tom Brady. And at the same time, when he was doing all that kind of stuff, you know, got called for unsportsmanlike and all that sort of stuff. As soon as he did that, as soon as there's something to be said. You remember, there's been so many professional athletes, like in terms of Michael Jordan, where it's like, you don't talk to Mike, you say sweet nothings to him. You say, great shot, buddy. That was nice. He started to tug on Superman's cape with Tom Brady. Tom Brady's like, oh man, okay, I see you. So then all of a sudden, Antonio Brown gets a touchdown in front of Tyrion Matthew, in front of that honey badger. You know what? Guys like that, you just leave them alone.
Yeah.
You say, good game. They're having a good game, but you know, you don't work them up. You don't work them up. But I would say this. I don't think the penalties had that much to effect on the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it was Tampa Bay's defense that had more of effect than the penalties did.
Sure. Does this tarnish any type of legacy for Mahomes?
I don't know how it could. You just went up against the greatest of all time and you lost. Oh well.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, like you're just starting your career. You still have a chance, but here's the thing: you got to win 8 Super Bowls now. 8. Yeah. Good luck with that. Good luck, buddy. Yeah. You're gonna need it because, dude, like, there's not much more you can say to what Tom Brady's accomplished. Just what are you going to say about that?
Yeah.
I don't think it tarnishes anything in his career or his legacy or anything. He went up against the greatest, he lost. But here's the thing. He's got another chance. He's got another shot at him next year.
Yeah.
So here we go again.
His only 2 playoff losses have come at the hands of Brady, and but he's taken his team to 3 straight AFC Championship games, and just starting a 10-year, $450 million deal. So as long as he stays healthy, I think at the end of that contract, he might be, not killing their salary cap situation, but $45 million a year is tough to surround yourself with a very balanced team and having all the weapons on offense and defense that you need. I think Tom Brady, most of his career, wasn't the highest paid quarterback in the league, maybe 10th to 12th, 15th even. I think he's very, very, very smart on taking a bit less money so he can create this legacy and surround himself with a lot more talent.
Yeah, because he sees the bigger picture, which is, well, what's going to cement my legacy? Money or championships? Yeah. I guess we know his answer. Championships.
Yeah.
Lots and lots and lots of championships. So, yeah, man, because now we look at Brady, you know how they have like greatest plays in Super Bowl or the most memorable Super Bowls. Well, you could have for a top 10 him in 7 of them. That's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a Tom Brady show now.
Yeah. Eli Manning, amazingly enough, beat him twice, and holy cow, or he could have possibly 9, and it's just absolutely incredible. What about the halftime show? What do you think of our Canadian boy from Scarborough, The Weeknd? Did you like it?
Rocked it. Killed it.
Nice.
He rocked it and he killed it. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was just a very, very, it was a great halftime show. It was a great halftime show. Possibly one of the best. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love The Weeknd anyways, but I really liked that halftime show. I thought it was very, very well done. And also too, it was COVID safe because you see all the dancers, they had masks on.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, that was very poignant for 2021, 2020. Yeah. Do you think the $7 million he spent was worth it?
Oh yeah, of course.
He personally spent $7 million to put on that production.
No, yeah, well, hey, he rocked that too because he knew that it needed that extra oomph. Obviously, oddly enough, it was weird. The NFL didn't pay for that. I guess they fallen on hard times, but whatever. But yeah, man, like it was needed. It was needed just to give it that extra that it needed to come across the way it did. And you know what? $7 million well spent. I have a feeling he's going to make back that money anyways. I don't know how he's going to do that, but I think he will. And maybe the NFL will just come in and be like, you know what? Did pretty good. We'll give you a little bit more, half. Yeah, you know what? Third. They're so cheap, but yes.
I couldn't believe when I heard that it was only $100 to get yourself a cutout, and we had the possibility of me and you being there, sitting next to each other at the Super Bowl in Tampa. And what happened? We dropped the ball there.
I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't. And also, too, $100. That's all they wanted. Like, what, are you serious, man? Yeah. Like, why is it not 500 to 600? Like, you guys need to make some money, right? Or did they just increase the ticket sales to something more absurd than what they actually are?
Well, I think almost all those tickets that the people were there, 25,000 fans. I think at least about half of those were free tickets to frontline people that had been vaccinated. So they didn't make much money on this, other than the obviously the exorbitant rates they get on advertising.
I guess that's why The Weeknd had to front his own money, because they were just like, you know what, buddy, we're a little short. We're a little short this year. Do you got any money? Do you have money? Could you help us out?
I'm glad that they extended that offer to those frontline workers. That must have been amazing for them to go through the hell they went through in 2020 into 2021, to be able to be rewarded, especially the people that were, this was their hometown team. Finally, we getting them to see win a Super Bowl after 17 years. Really fantastic gesture. And when I first said it to you, a few months back, I didn't actually think it was a possibility, but it turned out to be, and it was cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. And then also too, the other thing that they did was they got tickets for the family and friends of those officers that were involved in Capitol Hill that helped out those politicians and put their lives on the line as well.
Wow.
And like when the NFL steps up and does great things like that, like it's awesome to see the league step up and show their appreciation to like your average citizen that steps up in a big way to do the right thing.
Yeah. So successful NFL season in your mind?
Yeah, because you couldn't have written a better narrative story than what you got. The GOAT versus the kid. The kid got, he got taken out by the GOAT. That doesn't mean that the kid's always going to be taken out by the GOAT. You know what I mean? Like, there's still many other seasons to play, and apparently the GOAT is, he's going to keep playing, like maybe forever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we have to appreciate this for what it is. We're seeing a rare moment in time where we have some athletes that just have longevity and excellence at the highest level, and they keep doing it over and over again to the point that now we're just amazed and awed because we have no idea how this is happening, but it is. And so we should appreciate it for what it is, because we may never see this ever again in our lifetimes.
Regardless of sport, can we consider him the greatest of all time, regardless of sport?
No, I'm not gonna give him that. Sorry.
Okay.
This
MJ?
Sports specific. When it comes to his position as a quarterback, there's nobody better. There's nobody better than him, because I'm gonna be honest, I cannot see in my head somebody winning 8 Super Bowls.
No.
I can't see it.
No.
I just can't see it. I couldn't see 7. Heck, I couldn't see 6. Yeah. Wait, I couldn't have seen 5. So I definitely can't see 8.
Yeah.
But he has the chance to do that next year too as well. I'm speechless. I don't have any more words for him anymore. I don't know what else to say.
My probably one of my favorite players of all time, if not the favorite, was Jerry Rice, and he to me was the GOAT before Tom Brady came along. I'm glad he was still in this graphics that I saw during the game. Him and Joe Montana had the record of all time touchdown passes to each other, and Gronk and Brady have now passed them. But yeah, it's just indisputable. In basketball, it's LeBron and MJ, and in baseball, it's this guy and that guy, and hockey, it's pretty much Wayne Gretzky. But this Tom Brady has just put himself right to the top of the list, and there's no way anybody's going to get to 8 Super Bowls. It's just impossible in this type of climate and salary cap and all that kind of thing. It's just not going to happen. Tampa Bay has been calling themselves the last few weeks here Champa Bay. They won the Stanley Cup. They went to the World Series, almost won the World Series if Kevin Cash didn't blow it for them, and now they've won the Super Bowl. It must be a fun place to play. You wake up every morning, you put your shorts on, your flip-flops, and you get to cheer on winning championship teams there. They get them all.
Yeah, they sure do. And they're just like, hey, man, you should come to Tampa. It's real nice over here. We got just a bunch of winners because we win like all the time. Oh, and by the way, the greatest winner of them all decided to join up. Look what he did. He made us win again. Yeah, it's real cool. I like this city.
I want to talk about the MVP I want to talk about the awards just quickly, and I want to talk about the Hall of Fame as well. But we have to mention our partners and sponsors first. and then we can get into that to finish off the football. Anchor's been a great partner and sponsor for Complete Sports Media right from the start, and they have been really fantastic at posting on multiple podcast platforms for us, and they call themselves the easiest place to make a podcast. So you go to Anchor FM, follow the details, and you'll be able to do something like we're doing here. Verbero, the hockey equipment and apparel company, fantastic industry leader in technology, performance, and value, and the V350 stick is a must stick that you have to get in your hands if you're a hockey player. Pampas and Possibilities, they design and sell dried florals, floral arrangements, and do installations. And Forever Living, they are the aloe vera company. They grow and manufacture aloe vera based products for health and beauty. So thank you to all of them. Go to completesportsmedia.com and you'll be able to find some details, and you'll be able to purchase some products at discounted rates. So awesome. Cool to see the awards, as always, a little virtual this time, so not as fun, but let's talk about some of those. Aaron Rodgers won an MVP for the third time. Fantastic season for him.
Yeah, sure was. Unfortunately, he ran into Brady and his season was cut short. But yes, yes, it was a milestone again for Aaron Rodgers to win the league MVP. He definitely deserves it, and he deserves that.
Offensive Player of the Year, Derrick Henry, just an absolute beast. We talked about him every week, and it was great to see him get some recognition with that award.
Yes, and he's very fast, becoming one of the greatest running backs that the league has ever seen. As long as he continues on this trajectory, obviously he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Defensive Performer of the Year, Aaron Donald, an absolute beast on that line, and he's really putting himself into that upper echelon as one of the best of all time.
One of the best, one of the strongest, one of the most athletic. Like, he's just one of the scariest people that you've ever seen on the defensive side of the ball. He's I guess you could say, possibly our modern day Reggie White.
Yeah. Good call. Yeah, good comparison. Offensive Rookie went to Justin Herbert of the Chargers. Great year for him. You talked a lot about the Chargers, a really team that had a lot of heartbreak this year, but they seem to be going in the right direction, and he seems to be able to lead them there.
Yeah. Like I think next year is going to be really telling on if they can just get over that hump, because they were so close on so many games, and if they can just get over that hump, the future is going to be very, very bright for him down there in San Diego.
Yeah. Defensive Rookie of the Year was Chase Young, who called out Brady and regretted it probably immediately after that. Had a great year, but Washington was no match for Tampa Bay, obviously.
Yeah, no, man, they didn't have a shot or a chance or anything. Like, their destiny was sealed as soon as Tom Brady stepped on the field. That was it for them.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate.
Another great story coming out of that Washington football team. Hopefully they get a nickname soon and we don't have to call them that anymore. But the comeback player of the year was Alex Smith. 17 surgeries to be able to walk again, save his leg, and actually be able to come and play football again. Miraculous comeback. Oh,
yeah. Absolute, like, great story. And inspiring. And it's an inspirational story that, even at the darkest of days, you can still see some light. And if you can get there, you can do amazing things. Yeah. Amazing things.
Coach won it, Kevin Stefanski from the Cleveland Browns. They've made the playoffs the first time in forever, and he was able to assemble that team and get them in the right direction, and he gets the honor this year.
Oh, yeah, he deserves that, because the Browns have suffered for so many years. So many years. So yes, he definitely deserved that. All the credit to him as a head coach.
And the Walter Payton Award for NFL Man of the Year went to our local guy from the Pacific Northwest here, Russell Wilson. Really great to see him honored.
Oh, yeah. Well, Russell Wilson has just done so much for the community, for his community down there in Seattle. By the way, looked real fly very fresh in that suit. But definitely deserves the award. Himself is an inspiration for doing the right thing all the time.
There was rumors today that he's on the trade block. That was really shocking to me.
Why would you do that? Oh man, you know what? I hope that's just a rumor, because if I'm Pete Carroll, you don't let a guy like that go. You don't ever let a guy like that go.
No.
You know, man, like there's only a couple really good quarterbacks in the league. That guy's one of them. That guy stays.
No kidding. Yeah. Okay. They also announced the Hall of Famers of the 2021 class. And the first name I'll mention is Peyton Manning. Incredible career. Yeah, we talked about him last week. One of the only guys that gets to call his own plays, was just instrumental at changing that quarterback position, just being such a great quarterback and having so much success. And now he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, well, of course he was going to be there. Like, of course he was going to be a first ballot. It's Peyton Manning. You know, like all the things, all the accolades that he's accomplished in his great career is just amazing. It's just amazing. Unfortunately, you know, like at times he had to go up against Tom Brady. Kind of sucks. Kind of sucks for so many people. But at least Peyton can actually say this: I know what Tom Brady's nemesis is. My younger brother, Eli.
True. Yeah. Eli beat him twice in the Super Bowl. Yeah. So you're right. Manning was 14-time Pro Bowl selection, 7-time first team all pro, 5-time MVP, and won 2 Super Bowls in his 18-year career. So incredible. Charles Woodson, one of the best cornerbacks, safeties of his time, longtime Raider, longtime Packer as well. Incredible, really tough. And was able to have a lot of success in his career too.
Oh yeah, Charles Woodson was one of the best at his position, and I'm going to be quite honest. And now that he's on the broadcasting side of things, the man looks like he can still play.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
You're right.
The man looks like he can still get out there and lace him up and go a couple downs, but definitely deserves all the accolades and definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. What a great player.
Really cool that Manning and Woodson were both Heisman Trophy finalists in 1997, and they will be standing next to each other in Canton, Ohio, in the enshrinement ceremonies. He was a 9-time Pro Bowler. He won the Defensive Rookie of the Year in '98 and the Defensive Player of the Year in 2000. First player in NFL history to have at least 50 interceptions and 20 sacks. His 65 career interceptions are tied for 5th all time. He led the league in interceptions in 2009 at age 33, and he tied for the league lead in 2011 at age 35. So, fantastic. Just an incredible career there. So then we got John Lynch. He's had a really storied career, and he's also when he moved up to the general manager ranks, fantastic as well. Really deserving.
Oh yeah, man. Hard-nosed player. Like whenever you came across the middle, you had to look for John Lynch because he's probably going to plaster you. He's going to hurt you really badly. He was a great player, and again another very deserving player that belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, one of the best safeties of his time with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for 10 years. Won the Super Bowl with them in his last year. Was with the Broncos for another 3-4 seasons. 9-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl winner. He also was an amazing baseball player. He was picked in the 2nd round by the Marlins, and he developed into one of the toughest safeties all around. He had 8 80 tackle seasons, and he had 3 with over 100. He was named to the Pro Bowl year after year. And he's been fantastic as a general manager for the 49ers and had a great career there off the field too. What about Megatron? Calvin Johnson. One stat that broke out to me was Calvin Johnson broke into the league when Tom Brady won his 3rd Super Bowl. He retired, and 5 years later, he's getting into the Hall, and Tom Brady wins his 7th Super Bowl.
Yeah, man. Like from Calvin, I'm like, it's too bad the body didn't hold up so I could play a little bit longer. But again, Calvin Johnson was that prototypical big, fast, just too huge of a receiver to really be guarded at all. And he was amazing. He was absolutely amazing, supremely gifted for the limited amount of time, unfortunately, that we had to see him, because I would like to say that his career was cut short due to injuries.
Yep.
But definitely deserving. One of the greatest Detroit Lion players that they've ever seen since Barry Sanders. That's how big an impact that guy was for the whole organization.
I feel like he changed his position. We never saw guys that type of size in the NFL before he came along and had the success he had. 6'5", 237 with 4.3 speed. 6-time Pro Bowler, led the league in receiving yards twice. And in 2012, he came within 36 yards of becoming the first receiver in NFL history with 2,000. He had a lot of different quarterbacks in Detroit. They just had that wheel turning all the time. It says 6 different quarterbacks in his 9-year career. In those 9 years, he led the NFL in receiving yards with 11,619, receiving touchdowns with 83, yards per game, 100-yard games, games with multiple receiving touchdowns. But yeah, 9-year career, a little bit cut short. Let me see. He played in 2 playoff games in his career, and in his postseason debut, he caught 12 passes for 211 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Lions lost that game to the Saints. In the next game he played, he had 14 catches, 329 yards, and a touchdown in a win against the Cowboys. And he's had 3 career games with 225 yards receiving. So Megatron was amazing. And look up some highlights if you can, any of the viewers here. Drew Pearson, 10 years with the Cowboys, great career. Tom Flores, coach of the Raiders. Alan Fonseca, lineman, and Bill Nunn, a scout, all made it into the Hall of Fame. A really great class this year. And it was a amazing season, crazy, but they were able to survive it. And a lot of great awards, a lot of good fun. Even though this was a blowout, I still thought this game was intriguing, and I was really looking forward to breaking it down with you today.
Yes, I was too, even though the reign of darkness continues, but at the same time, I can't be a complete hater. I do have to give the man props. He's continuing to do things that nobody has ever thought possible in their wildest dreams. And I got to say this, his parents must be incredibly proud, especially his old man, to say, yes, my son made it to the NFL. Oh my, he became the greatest quarterback ever. And he's won his 7th Super Bowl. And he's still playing. Those are my genes in him. Oh, man, I couldn't be happier. And they couldn't be happier. Of course, they couldn't be happier, man. Because they stopped working like 10 years ago. So, yeah, I'd be pretty happy about that, too.
I heard a couple people saying today that he should retire. And I'm like, come on, what are you talking about? Like, it really hit me hard. And I thought, like, come on, why would you retire right now? That to me does not make sense. You're still one of the greatest, if not you are the greatest, but you're still able to bring this team, to these heights. Why walk away at this age? You've got so many years to be in retirement. Try to prolong this. When you're winning Super Bowls, still play the game, keep at it. I was just blown away when I heard some people saying he should retire now.
Well, it would maybe be a consideration if he had Drew Brees' thing that he had going on for the last part of the season where he couldn't throw the ball
Couldn't
deep.
throw.
His arm was shot. But Tom Brady had some of his greatest stats throwing the ball deep this year out of any of his years. So that's not a problem. His arm is still good.
Yeah.
Maybe his arm is made of, I don't know, some sort of weird genetics and bionics that we're not privy to, because he can still toss the ball. He can still get the velocity on the pigskin. He can still play, and he's injury free. He wasn't really even touched this year. Like I think his jersey was always clean. That's really good, really good. So man, he's not going to be retiring anytime soon. As much as I would like that to happen, that's not going to happen. I don't know, 45 maybe, 46. He may revisit retirement. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I could see people, not liking it. If he's constantly beating your team and, just, won't step aside and let, give the other teams a chance. But, if I was him, I would keep hanging on and, play another year or two. We'll see if his arm can hold out. Good analogy about Breeze, who looks like, his arm seems to be a bit shot, but Brady seems to like to have it, and the proof's in the pudding. He's going to be fitted for a seventh ring. That's insane. Yeah, so insane. Okay, well, great to break down the Super Bowl. Great to break down this NFL season with you, man. You're such an expert. You're so fun to listen to. Your analysis. I had such a blast. I can't believe we're in the off season. I hate it. It's the longest off season in all the North American team sports. I'm going to be really sad and hard to find something to do on every Sunday, but it was great. And thanks for doing this. I'm glad we were able to break down the Super Bowl. Thanks so much.
Oh man, always a pleasure. Always fun. And again, Tom Brady, like I'm gonna do it like Kirk would. Brady! Anyways, yeah. So that's all I have. Signing.
Okay, buddy, that's awesome. No more football. So we'll have to talk about some other things. UFC 258 next Monday, I guess, to break it down. But have a great week and keep in touch. Thanks again.
No problem. Will do.
Okay.
See you later.
All right. Take care, man. All right. Bye for now. Okay. Well, we had a long podcast here, but I knew it was going to be a bit long today. That Super Bowl was so many things to talk about and break down. And as usual, we had a blast. Love my Mondays with Jason. Thanks for tuning in as always. Thanks for listening on the podcast platforms. I love you lots. We will talk very soon. Take care of yourself. Have a great week ahead. And thanks again. Bye for now.